Yo, what's good, Blessed, brother? How's everything going, man? What this break, what has this break done for you? What you been up to, brother?
Great, man. It's rare you get people to say it's great in the pandemic. You know what I mean? So
right.
I'm just first and foremost happy all of the family healthy, everybody safe. On your end as well, we talked already. So just to see my people is really safe and healthy and kind of following the majority of the guidelines just to be good with life right now.
Yeah.
And it caused a huge change and shift in how everybody had to move and kind of think and just interact with each other. So this platform, which is new to you as well as me, it just kind of gave us the opportunity to kind of exploit our talents and our gifts to the world from, our home. So for me, it's been good, man. I released the album in due time, you know what I'm saying? The Polo Rich Kid joint, the PLRK. So
yeah,
it just happened that way. It felt that way. It was gonna come out regardless, but then it just kind of caught a nice wave due to people being stuck and having to watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been just enjoying the projects that's been dropping, listening to it.
Yeah, I just was bumping Midas joint.
Midas joint is fucking crazy. Then him and his brother they put together a group, like I think it's called the Natives. I get a chance to check that out.
Yeah, I just saw it too. I'm gonna check that out. Yeah.
Records sound crazy. We're performing at such a top-notch quality right now, and finally, I'm excited about, this whole platform. It's about Baltimore, and it's about how we affect each other and how we affect the world and how we plan on affecting the world. So I try to, talk about Baltimore from like a world perspective. And through the last few years, I've been, just experimenting with musicians and artists all around. And it takes me right back to here. Like, no matter what happens, it always brings me back to Baltimore. Like, man, sometimes, you go through these patches when you like, man, fuck Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? That's really how you feel sometimes,
Yeah.
And you got to get to build this love-hate relationship. But
that happened to me.
Man.
I lived down in Atlanta for a minute. I was down there for about 6 years. Was like 05. You know what I mean?
That was a good time to be in Atlanta, man.
It was a challenging time in the sense of they weren't really acceptable or willing to open up the doors to us fully.
Okay.
There's a lot different now where you see artists from here go down and start to make, headways and do features. And back then when Luda's popping and
they was like superstars, like,
and Jeezy would trap with Die. You ain't cracking a nut down there.
It was a different time when it was.
But the crazy part, to your point, it brought me home because the whole time I sat down there, I kind of built my own studio and I made Homicide. I made my first, first full-fledged album, the one that actually you caught the wind of. And
I
really,
wanted to, that's a perfect.
And just reflecting on home. So it brought me back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. It kind of takes me to that. That was my introduction to you in Baltimore. And I spoke to you about how I came across it. But one time we was at the 5 Seasons, not the first 5 Seasons, but the second 5 Seasons.
Not Charles Street, but the next one.
Not Charles, right. But, you know what I'm saying? Just get it right. Those are two different vibes right there.
No doubt.
But, I remember coming across it and I'm like, oh, okay, what's this? And threw it in. And immediately, of course, I'm a fan of a lot of producers here in Baltimore. So I noticed Banger Bill, and I was just like, I worked with Bill back in the day. Like, I'm talking, I was a kid, man, coming around Cloud 9 with Mr. Wilson and those guys, and bumping into J Funk and bumping into Banger Bill, even Bill, I think Bill was with Street Official for a while.
Right.
So I've been around those spaces, and I'm like, this dude has always been the sonic nucleus for so many artists. Branding their sounds, and I don't even know if the artists who were blessed enough, like, he's an incredible producer, man, like upper echelon, like he's that, like, he could stand right next to the Pharrells and all of that easy. Sonically, I know what he's capable of. So it's always good to get a project and you be like, the beats is dope, but then who is this rapping? Like what?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like who is this? And then
I
find out.
couldn't
Like,
catch him, bro. Hey, listen, man, I couldn't even catch him around that time. Like he lived around the corner from my mother's house. We literally grew up together, and I couldn't get a beat because he was down there with JI9 and
right.
So that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that can tell you the growth of like I couldn't even catch a wave at first with him, and that's my guy. I ended up going over Architects with Mike Mack and them, and then put out some stuff before that Charmer side of the show, like, yo, I could do this, and he like, oh, I bet, bro, let's go now. You know what I'm saying? So just show you how the evolution happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but for those who are checking this thing out, listening to it or watching it, you know, we have TheBoy Blesst on here today, and you know, this platform, I'm not even going to call it nothing. It's just conversations. I just been having a lot of interesting conversations, so I was like, man, I need to start recording some of this stuff and capturing this. This is my style of journaling, I guess, for right now. Like, you know, taking this time in and putting it in a time capsule, or be able to go back in years and whatever and be like, yo, that was a wild time. Like, I remember that. We lived through that, God willing, you know. And this platform was to highlight the artists and the contributors of the city that I really appreciate, who's been so consistent. And I think it's time that that we speak about the quality of the city, right? Because, you know, so much bad news and you know, just horrible branding wise for Baltimore. I just like, yo, we need to highlight the beautiful Black talent that's happening here. The consistency, you know, it's different. Like, you know, to be here and to be working and still producing product and being in the studio without having the labels and the A&Rs and all that stuff coming through here, and really not even having the local support or the radio, or like, it's just like, in order to do music here and keep doing it, you gotta really love it, because you gotta, it's all love. It's, you know, in Atlanta, it's a real business vibe. Like, they know what it is. Like, here it's real, it's an art vibe. It's like, yo, I'm just trying to, man. So you know,
to your point, Rez, to your point with that, when I was down there in 05, 06, I would go to a lot of showcases as an artist. You know what I mean? Open mics and stuff like that. Just like at home at the time, we might have had 5 seasons, right? That may have been pretty much it. But one thing I noticed when I went to the events there, which opened my eyes, the panelists that they had for these joints were execs, A&Rs, that are already in the industry. So the level of exposure you got and the critique and feedback, you know what I'm saying, that you put instantly from people that were accredited changed like a lot. You know, some of it was hard, but the critique was necessary. You know what I'm saying? So you saw the growth and development from those artists a lot faster, I think, because they were willing to accept that. It's hard for you to sit on the panel 10 years ago, or some of the other people that are starting to make waves sit on the panel, and somebody like myself or another artist really accept it, because we ain't even seen you make it yet. So how I'm gonna take your critique? You know what I'm saying? So platform, and it changed the trajectory of some artists that I saw down there locally just start picking up. You know what I'm saying? I picked up a lot of stuff from them. What I noticed is like they just do their 1 or 2 songs every club they go to. Like it's radio. They don't do a whole, you know, I used to get on joint and want to cater my set to something different. So I'm dropping a different record everywhere I go. What's the point of that? There's no programming in that. You know what I'm saying? So they did a lot of programming and just dropping the same joint everywhere they go. For you knew it, I heard it on the radio. And like you said, the support of the DJs, the radio, and the environment around them allowed to kind of propel them in different ways than it did for us up here.
Yeah. So what kind of challenges you think, like Baltimore, what do you think could change the scope of like the city when it comes down to the music and the economy? Is, you know, we talking about hip hop music, and let's just be real clear about it, because there are some hip hop artists here that are killing. You know, they're younger. You know, they got the street smash and they're doing their thing. But then we got the other side of hip hop, which is a little more mature, a little more like, you know, we're not looking for record deals. We're trying to grind it out ourselves and thing like that. Like, you know, but what do you think, like, man, can come here, or what do you think needs to happen in order for us to kind of?
I see it. It's kind of happening, bro. It's like people like yourself, like you said, the last year and a half, 2 years have not just been planted here, but traveled the world and begin to build business and brands outside of the walls of Baltimore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like for a lot of these artists, such as myself, like it's hard if, you know, you can have great music and be super talented, but if you don't have marketing and a business people around you and you know, the right team around you. So the more we have people that are into the business of, you know what I'm saying? The business of the music, the better the opportunities. And you're starting to see that. I'm starting to see a lot more of that. They kind of tuck it still. They're not on the forefront because it is Baltimore, so everybody don't want to know, you know, want you to know who everybody is. So, but there are business people around here that are starting to make some headways, and as people are starting to emerge, the Easy Jacksons, the DDMs, the you know what I'm saying, like all of these artists starting to kind of build their platforms, you'll see those people jumping behind them, or maybe you're already on the back end of them and start to kind of propel those people to a national spotlight.
Yeah, you know, and I see that happening as well, and I'm starting to see little entities form, and that excites me because it's like the business people that went to college, they home now, they're done, they're working their profession or what may have you, but they realizing that they can use those same skill sets in music, and really it comes down to organization and strategy, and a lot of that stuff you learn. You learn from working from somebody, or you learn from going to school, or you learn from doing it yourself and trial and error. And all of that knowledge, it seems like it's coming together, and people are starting to realize, oh, we got to focus on business. Let's get this art out. Let's get this art out the way. Let's get this music out the way, and then let's change hats, and now let's talk business. And you know, I think those are the people that's going to really kind of take it to the next level. And that's, you know, that's ones that are not afraid to invest in themselves. And take that risk, you know what I'm saying, and like say, you know,
uncomfortable, bro. Like it's one thing I noticed about us, you know, the crabs and the burrows per se. We comfortable. We get comfortable easy. So our environment, as much as we claim we want out of it, a lot of times we stay in it. So if you don't put yourself in these uncomfortable positions, or in meetings or around people that may be on a step higher than you, you never put yourself in a position to win. You know what I'm saying? So the more we extend ourselves and stretch where we're going and who we're dealing with, the easier it is to be uncomfortable all the time, and the easier it is to continuously grow. You know what I'm saying? So I see it now. I watch it. You know what I mean? Like I'm looking at the early 20, you know what I'm saying, guys that's doing it. I'm watching the YG Tex and the Mooses, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like these, like that sound emerging. And I'm looking at the guys that's kind of in the middle, like the Lonnie Moores and the Stars. Some of these artists who are like writing this cup. So it's a huge difference now compared to where it was 10 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So
I think we're definitely starting to sound better, and like just image wise, like really getting to a point that we get it. We got to play the game, y'all. Like Baltimore is like, it's such a raw town. It's like we don't want to play nobody's game but our own. So we don't want to play nobody's game. We want to invent our own game. You know,
which is cool if you can monetize and mash out of it. If you know, Master P played his own game. You know what I'm saying? There's a game, if you want to be that raw and hard about it, go for it. But you got to have the business and the people around you to make this engine run. Because if not, you popping off for nothing.
So keyword engine, man, that's a good word, man, because I wanted to get into like the nuances of your business structure for those who may not know how to organize their back end. Like we see an album, right? But we don't know what goes into that from behind the scenes, you know? Like, give me like the steps, man. When you get done with a project, man, what's next, man? What do you normally do? You know, I guess, you know, mixing. I mean, what is your process once the songs are recorded, like, and what's next? Like, do you split your time up between business and music, or do you wait till the music is done? Like, what's your process?
It's a combination of both. I think you put it online earlier, kind of structuring your time, blocking out, you know what I'm saying, like those power hours where I'm gonna do this and this from 3 to 4 hours. I'm gonna do admin only. You know what I'm saying? Now, this is if you don't have a team.
So what's admin? So for those who don't, like, what the hell is admin? Because that's,
I mean, shit. Making sure first and foremost you got your performing rights organization set up already. You do have an ASAC, BMI, or CSAC. You got to have somewhere where your music is hub so it can be tracked. So if you don't have that, then you got to get with somebody to get that to begin with. Once you do that, making sure if it's not yourself, you got somebody on your team that's making sure you're filing your music the correct way. You know what I'm saying? You're putting in there the songwriters, you're attaching the numbers to it to make sure everything is set up prior to you start to push this engine out the gate. Because I don't want to start sending my music out to Kariz's radio station or Don Trunk's station or you know 93Q, and I don't have my ISRC codes or my UPC. I'm shooting myself in the foot. I'm not running the business. So the first thing is doing that. I do that just because I've been doing it so long. You know, 16, 17 projects. Trial and error has taught me I need to do this. Right. Once all this kind of in place and you got all your stuff set up, there's a lot of arguments that happen on the back end when it comes to A&R and this music for me. So me and Bill might throw bottles at each other in the house because he wants this song and I want this song. You know what I'm saying?
So how does that work? So do you, like, going into album mode, do you just record a lot of material and then pick the best, or do you just record what you're going to use? Like,
I recorded earlier today in the crib right now, just because that was my vibe. So, but a lot of times I'm already themed in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as the type of project I want, I already got, like, I'm a title guy first. So, you know what I mean?
Okay.
I already knew I'm doing PLRK. I knew that a year ago that I was going to do this project. I ain't know what songs yet or nothing, but I just started to record in that vein, I think. And, you know, some stuff fits, some don't. And then when it kind of gets narrowed down, I'm stuck with 40, 50 songs on the board. And I don't know what to do. I honestly don't, dude. I drive myself crazy.
So you just turn it in to build like him, or do you just ride around with it? Or
I ride.
You know?
I do a lot of riding. There's a lot of songs that are like staples. It might be like, all right, I'm gonna limit this project to 11 to 12 cuts, and 6 of them I know going. I don't care what nobody say. I know they going. They stay.
Right, you say, look, no debate.
Yeah, like I don't even care unless, you know what I mean, like my ultimate goal. Jay Funk just mentioned this. He said online, like, who A&R is your projects? And that was a good question, because I'm like, damn, outside of my immediate circle, it's rare that I have that. And that's something I always wanted. I saw Pusha T do it some years back, and he just kind of sat in the boardroom and he was playing one of his projects and they kind of listening to it. So to have, I can imagine having a person like you and Funk and some of the DJs and Von Vargas and this one who have different perspectives and different expertise, and I can and let them listen to this body of work and say, all right, you'll rate this from 1 to 5, you do's, you don'ts, based off of the artist, the image. That's ideal for me in a sense. But I just ride, bro. Like, you know, I feel it out. I kind of put them in the order I like to hear. I'm old school in the sense of I don't really play the single game. I know a single is necessary. Don't get me wrong, but I put the vibe on, because the type of artist I am, I feel like the first time you may have heard a Kendrick or Cole or Big Crit or, you know what I mean, a Freddie Gibbs or one of these artists. That's you ain't hear a single. You heard the vibe of the project. You know what I'm saying? You cut it on and it all sonically made you feel a certain way. That's how you brought into these guys. So knowing the type of artist I am, I pride myself on vibing. Just vibing that thing out, and hopefully a record come out of there that translate across the globe. You know what I mean? Yeah,
man. So I noticed you got some equipment back there. Did you get did you have the equipment before COVID, or you just got it?
Well, I had just got it prior to COVID. I mean, most of the times I was either at Banger Bill Studio 90% of the time. I was down at his house recording.
Okay.
You know, I shoot up Dookie Man from time to time and record something if Bill was tired, but majority of I was there. And my first few projects I recorded on my own in Georgia years back, but my equipment got outdated. And when I moved back north, I just kept recording with Bill. I ain't go buy a So it got to a point where in our relationship, he working on a lot of artist stuff. I need my space to create again. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be rushed. I want, you know, light some incense, burn one, do my thing, and find that. So I went out, you know what I mean? I pretty much got the same setup he got. I went and grabbed a Apollo twin joint, just something in the house where
nice.
Right. Grabbing a new computer and using the Studio One joint now. It just kind of set it up where I can control my own energy and reference track. I've been able to do like 4 feature joints in the last 3 days for people. So people have been hitting me, sending me the joints, and knocking it out, getting it mixed, and sending it back.
Sending it back out. Right. Yeah, I think that's a plus. And I was trying to advocate for a lot of artists, like, and musicians as well, to like invest, you know, a few $100s in this little interface. It don't got to be an Apollo. That's top of the line. But I was trying to explain to people, like, yo, you could really get a lot done at home and just send it over, you know, and might want to invest in it. That's why I was asking you about what you got back there, because at a time like right now, you know, I guess for the first few weeks, my phone was still blowing up with people trying to record. I don't necessarily do studio time like that, but people always hit me up like, it's forever. That's never going to end. Yo, you know, you guys just got some time. I'm like the plan D, plan C studio. You know what I mean? So with something don't go right, I always get, I get that call like, yo, you sometimes randomly I'm like, come through, you know, depending on what whatever it is. But yeah, so this is a perfect time, I think, for like people to just lock in and record themselves. There's all kind of phone apps, and I mean, you know, you can get your ideas out right now. It don't got to be perfect. Sometimes it's just about hearing your idea and getting it out your head, you know. So back to PLRK, man, because I want to talk about this project before we, you know, before the time go. But yeah, yo, I really enjoy a few joints on there, man. Well, I enjoy the whole project, by the way. Like, it's just a good, nice ride through, listen to. I actually got a chance to get through the whole album twice.
Appreciate it.
And yeah, so I love one of my favorite joints on there, I ain't gonna lie, is Who Am I? You know, and it's this is, you know, just personally, I'm not really listening for the hit record. I don't got that kind of ear anymore. Like I don't have that kind of intent in listening to music anymore. I listen for what just feels good now, you know. And then because like you said, the Crits and everybody else is like, they done proved that you could put out a single and it might not necessarily be the cliche for like what people think of as a single, but it's a single. That's the record you choose to put your more energy behind to promote the project and stuff like that. But with this song, you know, I was like, oh, this is hard because it kind of talks about who you are. You know what I mean? And often with artists, you know, they will have a whole project and we still don't really know who they are. Yeah, you know, I feel like that about way too many, even artists I love, like Rick Ross. Like I love Rick Ross. You know, don't know who he is. You know what I'm saying? Like, still waiting for him to show us who he is. Certain things like that. Like, okay, I know you. You know, big dope boy, Miami. Okay, I get that. You know, who are you? You know, and I think that's important. For like the fan to be like, oh, okay, this is where he come from. This is who. So tell me a little bit about that record real quick, man. Like, how that come about, man, from rooted, you know, was it like did he just throw you like a skeleton of a beat, a loop, and then you, I mean.
Yeah, he threw me a skeleton of the beat. I had the idea, just who am I in my head for forever. So I do a lot of voice recordings on my phone, riding back and forth from DC, a cappella, you know what I'm saying? Remember that you never been, I'm West Side Boy. I might have wrote that hook idea 2 years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just never materialized it. He heard it, went to a studio where they had some live joint. He just recorded drums, and he had sat on the drums forever. But he recorded the drums so janky because he ain't separate them. It took him forever to play it up. You feel me?
Right.
So, we just kept building the record over time, and I actually chucked it and was like, I don't think it's gonna go on here. And my son was like, no, Dad, that's how you start the album. Like, so if once my credits come out, you'll see like A&R, my two boys picked this project because I couldn't do it no more. I got tired of it. They like, I'll pick your records for you. I'm like, go ahead. I trust y'all ear.
Right.
So they picked out the joint, and I was trying to get I was trying to have the hook redone because Bill and I did a lot of the hooks, trying to get another sonic vibe. So I was like, let me take Bill off, throw somebody else on. End up reaching out to Gwen Hilton, Love Your Sound. Linked up with your manager Paul, and we just kind of chopped it up. And he's like, yo, I'm gonna do something to it, but I'm not gonna do your hook. And I'm like, hey, bro, do you feel me? Sent it out to Cali, and yo laced it how he felt it. And at first I was like, damn, why you do that? Then I was like, Bill was like, shit, that shit hard. Like, I don't know what you tell me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
right.
You're right. Like, because I was so stuck on this idea what it was.
Yo, that's wild because we're doing albums, man, and like I'm working on an album now with the singer, and it's like we've been working on it for a year. It's a 7-song project, and what happens when you sit on stuff for a while, you get so used to it, you just get numb. Or you just fall in love with it to a point, like I got a whole theory about rough mixes, bro. Like
They the best mixes. I don't care.
No, hold on, no. Nah. No, they not. Hold
Yeah,
on, listen.
go ahead.
So they not. This is the problem. See, you already beat me. This is the
I
problem.
already know. Go ahead.
With this rough mix shit. So you win the record. You like, yo, let me ride around to it. You like, yo, and I'm always giving a disclaimer like, bro, look, I ain't do nothing to it. So then 2 months go by, you get around to mixing the record. Yo, I don't like it. And I'm like, damn, see, this is, everybody falls in love with the raw, with the rough. Even Erykah Badu spoke about this on the Versus battle the other day for her first album. She's saying that she was mad because she recorded the album with her crew, doing what they do, loved the way it sound, turned it into the label. They took and mixed and mastered and crystallized it, and she's like, this ain't even the feel. Like, so her whole career was built off of a feel that she necessarily didn't approve of, but we get so used to that raw mix, yo, and I'll be like always telling people like, don't get used to the raw. And eventually what ended up happening, I started getting nice and started mixing in this session.
That's Bill.
And so that started happening, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna make it so that when they get it versus when I mix it, is only gonna be a 30% difference or so. Get it to a point that by the time they record it, is as close as it can be to what you think the record. As a producer, it's a psychology game. Like that person's gonna fall in love with the wrong shit. So you gotta make sure that it's only 30% wrong. You know what I'm saying? So you could just.
So we tried. I tried Dookie, man, with that record. I sent it to Brandon Lackey in the lineup room. You know what I'm saying? I sent them, because all of them was like, yo, send me something, I'll work on this joint with you. And we would get it back. And I was like, it's hard. It's really good. But it didn't sound like what it initially. And mind you, a record we've been sitting on for a year, already had a sound riding around for the past year, listening to it a certain way. You feel me? And it just kind of, Bill was like, yo, and he a producer too. So he like, yo, I'll go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, you just go ahead and knock this one out. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's not even do that. If I'm gonna work with these guys, which I'm definitely doing and want to continue to do, let me just go down their studio, knock out something with them, and get how their process is versus trying to manipulate your process. And let's just get through this album. You know what I mean?
Looking at the reading the credits, I mean, a lot of the albums, how y'all, you and Bill, it's so rare, and I want to. It kind of takes it to this next topic. It's so rare to like find that one producer lock in, at least in this era, with the option anxiety of the internet and everybody just getting beats online, right? Like, it's so rare to find that chemistry with that one one cat, yo. Like, how long have y'all been rocking together, man? Did it start at Chamasidal, or was it before that?
Yeah, it was before Chamasidal, but he would
Was it the one?
He did. The one was my first album I did in totality with him. Like, me and him together. That was the first joint, which is now about 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we started. Once I came back, he did Chamasidal. He mixed it for me and gave me like 3 or 4 beats there. But it's just been like continuously just recording. Like, I'm habitual with recording. So you know what I'm saying? Even if I wasn't working on the album, I might still go to his house 2 or 3 days a week because I like to make music, and everything coming from scratch. It ain't really premeditated. It's just here and there tinkering around. I'm talking smack around the house, but 3 hours later we got a shell or a whole record, it just kept unfolded. And I don't know, dude. It's really difficult because that's my brother, and we go way back, so we fight and argue a lot about it. You know what I'm saying? We had each other's neck because we both see things a certain way, but I think it kind of, that pressure gives us a certain sound at the end of it.
Nah, I've always was just, I'm definitely a fan of the chemistry, and what is it? Like I said, it's rare. I love it to see when producers lock in. When J Funk locked in with Amir, did a whole project. I'm waiting to see what happens with the other. That joint was crazy. Like, I love those kind of projects. Producer, artists, man. You got a Future sprinkled in there. I don't know if did I see Jammer One name? Was it? No, who name was that? Not Jammer One. Jay.
Oh, Jay's. Yeah. That's John Bucket joint. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That, and then the joint I did. the joint I did as well.
They lied. I was so, and that's, you sent that to me and was like, yo, make this a summertime joint. Mine was a couple summers. And you like, and I'm like, all right. And I sat on it, and it ain't hit me that way. And eventually the record came. I shot down Trump spot when he was back in Catonsville and had him lay the hook. He actually filmed it. I don't even know where the footage is at this point. I filmed it. You know what I'm saying? And just over time, like, the record became something that none of us saw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it came out great. You know what I'm saying? The storyline of They Lied. Break that down to me, yo.
Yo, so, you know, a lot of stuff is either, majority of my stuff is life-based in the sense of either I went through it, you know what I'm saying, or somebody right there around me went through it.
Yeah.
And grow up in an environment around a lot of women that went through a lot of the abuse, whether it's mental, physical. You know what I'm saying? Single parenthood, much like a lot of us did, which, you know, I end up going through that as well. That verse just unfolded around a person that I saw that was around me all the time. But this person was just like super powerful and strong as a woman that just, it's amazing if you really take a step back and know what the woman goes through. You know what I'm saying? Appreciates that, raising children, still keeping the faith. You know what I'm saying? I know it sounds cliche as hell, because you know, but it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, yo, anybody told you you was less than this or that, they lying to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of, you know, pick your head up, because that's bull. So in the second verse, I just was like, I could have went the chick route again, but I like the, you know, I'm a big fan of Pac and some of the early artists, and Pac would do a lot like that, where he would one verse and the second verse something totally different. So for me to touch the hood and just a kid in the hood going through it, that's all my stories in a way. You know
yeah, definitely. I noticed that you know, you got Don Trunk on the hook, which is also, you know, speaks to the Baltimoreism of your approach. You know, say like, yo, you so Baltimore, but yet you so industry with the way, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's the best of both worlds, you know. And I'm not, and hearing Don on that joint, and I'm just like, when I first heard it, I was so glad that Don, that little bro, hopped on there, man. You know, because it's like we all, as far as producers and in the way we're all connected in the city, I always was, that's another thing that always brings me back to Baltimore in a way, because it's like, the producers are tight, man. Like, we rock together so tough. And it kind of came from, you know, a time where, well, I went to school in New York, in Institute of Audio Research in Manhattan. And then when I left school and came back to Baltimore around 2000, 2001, I just always wanted to build collectives, like groups of like people. Like, I was never like, let me do this alone. And so I was always like, if there's an opportunity, I'll call 8 people and 5 people. I've always was like, yo, I got to put my peoples on. It took me a while to really know when not to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, because for so long, I just wanted us to shine. So I'll be in the studio, you know, up DITC, they working on Nas album. I'm losing my mind. I'm calling Don like, yo, you know,
right.
Yo, we got to get these records together. I'm always trying to like provide opportunity for myself and others. I just realize it's, you know, in music and art, and, you know, in business, working together is better than working alone. You know, it's just, and I notice how in the city we come together like that. So far as with the rappers, do you feel like is the union is there as well with the MCs? Is just like, you know.
I could say from my standpoint, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty much open and willing. I've reached out to some artists that either decided to work with me or was like, yo, this is my fee or whatever, that were local to me, that I either opted to or not deal with, because I felt like, yo, I'm right here with you. Let's do this together. And I see things from a A&R perspective too, much like as a producer, I could hear a beat and think of a verse and be like, damn, I hear comp on this joint mixed with such and such doing a hook. And they all from here, because I grew up in the underdog mentality. I grew up where ain't nobody give me nothing. They couldn't even say my name right when I get on the open mic. You know what I'm saying? That's locally. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I always was like, had this chip, but I still wanted my peoples on. So I always try to build from within and build us up and then take us to the world. You know what I'm saying? So from an artist standpoint, I think I see a lot of collabos now. It's good to see it's good to see the YG Tech and the Moose combo when they did that.
Oh
You know,
yeah, that was.
imagine if that would have happened with the Mully and Boss Man beef. You feel me?
Oh right, yeah,
It's just,
that yeah, right.
Growth in where we are is night and day. I say, you know.
Exactly. So what? And I'm getting into, you know, I like to talk about family, man. I like to talk about, you know, family and like the hurdles, the yin yang that we need, that pull, that gravitational pull that we need, but also can get in the way sometimes too of the stuff that we want to do, you know, because music is sometimes therapeutic and all of that, but in the aspect of like family, man, like and being at the age bracket that we're in, you know, most right now, you know, you're between 35 and 45 and you're doing music, and how do you deal with the pressures, man, of like the fatherhood, the family, the responsibilities, and then the music? And it's like, do you treat music more like a hobby, like a profession, or something more of a therapeutic? Like, what is your approach and your balance in those worlds, man? Because we all looking for different ways and advice to deal with it, you know, as fathers, real fathers. Let's get it real. This question is for real fathers, y'all. This is for real daddies that really want to take care of their kids and see them every day and fight for that, you know, and but yet they have another dream, you know, that they want to accomplish, man. Let's you know.
So shout out to, you know, Black Daddy Gang and you know, Wombat and Shelly Stalo, because they promote this, but everybody's story and walk can be different in that. Whereas you in the kind of early stages of it at a later part. You know what I'm saying? I was running 100 miles an hour on burning both ends of the candles with a 2-3-year-old, and I'm 23. But I'm still, you know what I'm saying? I'm still going to work every day. I'm grinding every day. I'm coaching football, Pop Warner, AAU. You know what I'm saying? So and what it did was it put a strain on both sides of the thing for me. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't give 100% to everything. So I'm 70 in the music, I'm 40 at home, and we beefing, or we ain't beefing, we just ain't talking, but the household's still taken care of. So the balancing act is definitely a challenge when you're not trying to take this as a hobby. When you in the studio all night and gotta get up and go to work in the morning, or go do something, you know what I mean, or take care of the child while your lady out. So the balance, you know what I mean? Like it's rare that you see people balance the life and still make it in this life.
Wow.
Right. It's very, you know, and there may be some stories out here that I don't know, but a lot of them, you know, you look at, you know, the nose dad, Beyonce father, just home and just like, I'm gonna take this trip and I'm gonna make sure y'all straight. You feel me? And working out on the back end. It's not to say that's every story, but it's definitely it's a challenging thing to be able to balance both a home life and, you know what I'm saying, a career in music.
A dream, like, you know.
My son, you know, teenagers and 20 at this point. But this point, they the ones pushing me like, yo, come on, drop the next joint. Let me film your video. Like, so I'm on a different end of the tier now. You got it. I'm like, I'm doing voices and I'm like, yo, I call you back, bro.
Nah, that's dope. I mean, you know, I'm a new father, like in the aspect, new husband-father dynamic, and I get it. Especially, you know, I have a very ambitious woman that wants a lot of things out of life as I do. So, you know, it's like the time and the balance, and you're right. Like I used to feel that way. I was like, damn, you know, it's nobody making it that kept their family together. Like, you know, who is still rocking? Like, you know, who in hip hop music is still with the woman that they was with before? And, you know, so when I look at the Jim Jones and Chrissy dynamics, when I look at, you know, even Ja Rule, his wife, I'm like, okay, that's what's up. Like, I love seeing that people, I know they probably went through hell and all kinds of stuff.
Background stuff, you know, that's gonna be the case even if you're not a musician.
Even if you, right. It's gonna be the case. It's just, you know, looping it back around and knowing that, okay, this life is a different schedule, and we still have to try to balance it all in a way to make it so that, like, they get what they need, we get what we need, everybody get what they need, and we happy, you know. And that's tough work to do.
But see, she can know, yours will know that a session could take 6, 8, 10, 12 hours, and not be like, you telling me it took you that long to make, you know, half the track.
See, I don't have to deal with that part. I have to deal with more like, Yeah, right. No, it's a plus. It's a plus. But then, you know, on the other side of it, it's like, yo, I gotta record too. Like she trying, you know what I mean? She might be trying to. So it's like a battle of like the same space in my dynamic, right? Because we're both trying to create art thing. So we, you know, we're both trying to live in this space. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's a constant challenge of like trying to figure out what kind of
Alicia Keys thing y'all got going.
Yeah, it's real, bro. And recently she stepped the game all the way up and became a filmmaker. It was like, you know what, bye, nigga. I'm gonna go make a movie, like, you know, and it just took it to the next level. I'm like, damn, yo, I got okay. So, you know, it's impressive seeing how she gets inspired by seeing what is happening to me. You know what I'm saying? And then like, no, I'm gonna go get mine. Like, I'm tired of sitting around. Like, you traveling the world and on stages and whoop whoop whoop, fuck this. You know what I mean?
Some energy in your house, Jack. Woo.
No, it be war, man. Like I don't really make beats a lot as much. I was focusing more on the business because I realized that within business there's more room for family, and I want to create, when I do have a music company where we release music and I become a label or something one day, you know, I want it to be a family friendly. I want whatever company that we build, I want it to be, and well, right now is Blackwater, and I want us to build a system that supports the family structure, that doesn't so much divide it, you know, so that when artists come in and they have kids or they come in with a family, we understand that structure, you know, we support it, you know, we got daycare people in the studio, we got chefs rocking, we got, you know, we can really create that environment.
Toby and Wigway.
Perfect. That's another example. God bless them. I've been wanting to talk to Toe, man, you know, and hopefully I get with him this year, because I want to speak to him about that, because I've never seen that in that way from the gate. Like, yo, like that's inclusive. You know what I'm saying? Like he done made it. He done evolved. Like you at the evolved man, like superior level of whatever that is. You know, I read this book called The Way to Superior Man.
You know, I'm reading it now. I just mentioned.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of that book right now, and
crazy.
yeah, and like it's literally on my nightstand. So you know, before I go to bed, you know, and I'm like, damn, you know, this book is real, because it's really telling us, yo, look, we got some kind of catching, we got some growing to do, and we've been totally dishonest with our growth because of patriarchy, not basically telling us, yo, y'all fine, you okay. You know, it's the women that got the problem. Men, you are all right. And that's what the world tells the world for thousands of years. In all religions and all countries, it's like, that's what it is. And that's not what it is. You know what I'm saying? So we've been lied. Once again, they lied. You know what I mean? They lied to us. We running around here with egos and like we running the show. And really, it's like they run the show low key. If you got, especially if you got the right one.
I'm about to say, I can't even say it's low key. You know, it's just that key that we just don't talk about often.
We just that key we don't talk about.
But you know what it is.
It's silent key.
That's that backbone. That's what's going to hold that foundation together while we out and doing what we need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Straight up, man. But I wanted to wrap this up, man. And just once again, man, congratulate you on this project. And thank you for finally getting it out there, man. Y'all gotta check this out. I'm looking at it now. PLRK. It's on Bandcamp, right?
Right now. So yeah, I know we about to wrap, but that's, you know, I just want to say, let people know, go to TheBoy Blesst. What's that? Bandcamp.theboyblesst.com or the vice versa.
Yeah, that's right. It's theboyblesst.bandcamp.com. Yeah.
Y'all can just go there and support it, and we talked. I see Don Trump doing a lot of it. Just the artists collecting the revenue for their bodies of work. It's not on all streaming platforms right now for various reasons. It's not that I couldn't, you know what I mean? It's just a matter of being able to monetize and reinvest in it versus catching these pennies, especially when you're an indie artist. You know what I mean? It's going to take me 20 million streams to get enough for a haircut or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Don, he broke down the science perfectly.
Yeah. So just that part is eventually going to hit the streaming platforms. But at first, it's like, if I'm able to generate the type of income that's been coming in from the project and reinvest that into either equipment or the next artist or the next video for they live, or for now it's self-sustaining, right? And now the business is working like it should be. Now I can go ahead and hire the PR people, the marketing firms I need
Right.
to extend this from a local to a global platform. So
Yeah.
just continue to support that, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be on this joint with you to just
No, I love it, man. I love it. You know, it's like the flows is, I don't know if you repeat any flows, man. You keep switching flows up, and you know, I love that, man.
I love
the
drums,
artistic.
yo. I love drums. So whatever the drums are, I just try to play in the pocket around.
In the pocket of that, yeah.
The other side of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man, shouts out to y'all, Banger Bill, man. Y'all did a great job with this project, man. TheBoyBlesst.bandcamp.com. PLRK, Poor Little Rich Kid, love the title. I feel the same way. You know what I'm saying? I can relate to that all day long.
I think we all can. That's the city's moniker. I feel like we them poor kids that's so rich, and we just got to tap into that resource to make this place a better place like we don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. All right, man. Yo, stay blessed, bro.
You as well, family. I'll see you
right
soon.
now.
We're going to shoot a video for this, too. I ain't messing with you.
All right,
all right, bro. Catch you later.
Peace.
All right, peace.
All right.